going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, as always, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over not one, but two shows tonight. You heard me right. Not one, but two professional wrestling shows. We are going to go over Friday Night SmackDown, the final Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania 39 that starts tomorrow night. And we're going to go over Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor pay-per-view, which was fantastic. We've seen a return. We've seen a terrible injury happen during one of the big matches tonight on Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. So we're gonna go over that and much more. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Comment down below. Follow the social medias. Misfit TV, Misfit Podcast TV on the Twitter machine, Instagram Misfit Wrestling Pod, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on the other platforms. You can find on the other audio platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Audible, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff here. But let's go over Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor. I was debating on which show I wanted to start with first, but I was sort of more invested with Ring of Honor tonight, so we're going to start with Ring of Honor. And that was some great stuff. We see some matches on the pre-show that happened on 0 Hour. We had 4 matches announced. Obviously for the 0 Hour, we're going to go over them here. 0 Hour kicked off with Tracy Williams taking on Stu Grayson. Actually, no, excuse me. Tracy Williams took my notes have Stu Grayson for some reason. Tracy Williams taking on Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb gets the win here after a tour of the islands to secure the win here. Fine little match, nothing special happened on this show. On this match, really, just a little showcase for Jeff Cobb, who came off a phenomenal match with Kenny Omega on AEW Dynamite, where Omega ended up retaining the IWGP United States Championship. Before the next match happened, Nigel McGuinness surprised the crowd. He comes out here, returning to Ring of Honor, and he joins the commentary team. Gets a great ovation from the ROH crowd, and Nigel McGuinness is back with Ring of Honor. That was a perfect, and I thought about it. I was wondering where he would go, but you know what? Ring of Honor is the perfect fit for him. Willie Mack makes his Ring of Honor debut. I think, I don't know. I didn't get to follow much of Ring of Honor when it was more active, so I don't know if Willie Mack actually has had appearances in Ring of Honor prior. He probably has. He gets Konosuke Takeshita, and Konosuke Takeshita wins. Blue Thunder Bomb, Frog Splash combinations. Willie Mack, great man for his size who can do things a man of his size doing great things in the ring is great. Fun little match. Great showcase for both wrestlers. Konosuke Takeshita picks up the win here. Willow Nightingale defeated Miranda Alays. Fine match. Willow Nightingale picks up the win with a huge power bomb. After hitting a pounce onto Miranda. I called her Amanda. I'm sorry, Miranda. That's what we had here. This was a little surprise here. Stu Grayson with Evil Uno defeated Slim J with Aria Daivari and Mark Sterling on the outside. That was not the thing most people are talking about here, because Stu Grayson ends up hitting the Nightfall, by the way, to pick up the victory. But a video package is shown on the screen, and out comes Vincent and Dutch from the Righteous. They come down to the ring, making their Ring of Honor returns, and stared at the Dark Order. So it seems like we're going to get the Righteous versus the Dark Order, which I'm all for. And it does appear, rumors have been running rampant where these two were going to go. They were at NXT a few months ago, back in, I want to say December, January, around there. And they were doing a WWE tryout. That was whatever week that Kylie Ray performed on Main Event. But WWE did pass on all three of them. And it looks like Dutch and Vincent are back with Ring of Honor full time, and that actually makes a lot of sense in the world, to me at least. I personally thought that maybe Vincent and Dutch were just playing along with the whole Bray Wyatt stuff, like Karrion Kross was with the whole White Rabbit thing going on. So, El Hijo del Vikingo defeated Commodore to retain the AAA Mega Championship. This match was awesome. I got my first exposure to my first proper exposure to Vikingo last week on Dynamite, where he had an incredible fucking 5-star match with Kenny Omega, which went on Match of the Year for the list of Match of the Year. This match was great. I can't even do this match justice because they were flying all over the place here. But Vikingo retains the championship. And it was just great. 630 to retain. Go out your way to watch this match. This match was great. The Embassy retained the 6-man tag team titles against Blake Christian, AR Fox, and Grand Metalik. Which is very interesting because Brian Cage's contract with not Ring of Honor, but with AEW expired this week. So I don't know if he's going to just go sign with the Ring of Honor full time, or what's the deal there. Well, we'll figure that out. We'll find out eventually for the next coming week to see what happens there. Athena, who retained against Yuka Sakazaki in a kick-ass women's title match. I forgot to mention I did watch Ring of Honor this week, but I didn't get to record the review like I said I would. But I thought her match with Emi Sakura was phenomenal stuff. I love that was probably my favorite match on the show. That and Blake Christian versus Vikingo. Both matches were great. In my opinion. But like I said, Athena wins. She pulls out the what I call the eclipse. But she calls it the O-Face to win. Great match. Great women's title match here. We to find out a little bit later on that next week on Ring of Honor television, Miyu Yamashita is going to challenge Athena for the Ring of Honor women's title. That's going to be fucking incredible because Miyu Yamashita is awesome, and I love her. Love her very much. This match is my match of the night here. This is match of the night for me here. Samoa Joe shockingly retained the World Television Championship against Mark Briscoe. This match went all over the place. Near falls after near falls. Coquina clutch near the end here. Mark Briscoe hit the froggy bow at one point, but Joe kicks out Mark Briscoe then gets caught into the coquina clutch, and he doesn't. It gets launched with a sleeper suplex, might I add you. Joe locks in a sleeper, and Mark did not tap out. He passed out, and like I said, Samoa Joe retained the championship. This match was my favorite match of the night. Joe showcases his respect with Mark Briscoe shaking his hand at the end of that. There was a beautiful line during the media scrum that Mark said that he wrestled Samoa Joe tonight, and his brother Jay, wrestled Eddie Guerrero tonight. That was beautiful. But that was awesome. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Daniel Garcia. This match was great too. Hiroshi Tanahashi is like one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. You know, it was just great to see here. So Tanahashi takes a few pages out of Nakamura's book. We saw Nakamura made a return tonight on television, sort of. He was at the Hall of Fame during the Great Muda's Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which I saw Asuka mark out for. They put over Asuka huge in during Muda's Hall of Fame, which I think is very telling, very very telling of how Triple H is going to hopefully on Sunday night do the right thing. I will talk about the match order, not the match order, but the match listings of where each match is going to take place tomorrow and Sunday night. But I'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown. So Tanahashi near the end was able to hit the sling blade and then the high fly flow, and Tanahashi gets the win here. Very surprised to see. I was very surprised to see Tanahashi on the show when they announced this match. I think this match was announced like after it was either after Dynamite or after Ring of Honor. I don't know. The Lucha Brothers became the Ring of Honor Tag Team Titles, defeating Top Flight, the Kingdom, Aussie Open, and La Faction Ingonable. Scary spot during this match. Very scary spot here. Dante Martin went for a Canadian Destroyer through two tables on the outside and snapped his ankle in half. And it was disgusting to look at. And I hope nothing but the best for Dante Martin. Man, the Martin brothers they got the worst luck when it comes to their health. Like, they get injured. They're injury prone at this point. I hate to say that. I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but it seems when they start getting going, it happens. It goes back and forth with these two. They start getting momentum. One brother gets injured, and then they come back. Then he comes back, and the other one gets injured. It's how that works, unfortunately. But I wish nothing but the best and speedy recovery to Dante Martin. Good God. But this was the match itself was great. I love the ladder match. I love ladder matches in general. But the Lucha Brothers win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And FTR and Mark Briscoe come out to pay their respects to the two champions. And that's how that went off here. Jon Moxley apparently made his. I missed the entrance of this match. I didn't know Moxley came out here. Moxley made his Ring of Honor debut with Wheeler Yuta, who lost the Pure Championship to Shibata. So Katsuyori Shibata is your new Ring of Honor Pure Champion. This was a great match. It's funny that Ring of Honor does not Ring of Honor. New Japan doesn't want to clear Shibata for in-ring action, for actual wrestling matches. Hey, Tony Khan's like, I don't give a fuck. We're gonna clear her for wrestling matches, and they fucking put a title on him. So, Shibata locks in the sleeper hold, and lets it go. He hits the PK kick, and pins Wheeler Yuta to become the Pure Championship. I did not. So in my predictions during the AEW stream, not the stream, the AEW review, I had Wheeler Yuta going over. So far, right? I had gotten everyone right except two matches. So there's that there. Main event time. Claudio Castagnoli defeated Eddie Kingston to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. This match was fine. It was good. I enjoyed the match. It wasn't like incredible, as a lot of people said it, but I just don't. And this is coming from somebody who really likes Eddie Kingston. I don't know if Tony Khan sees Eddie Kingston as a world champion. I don't know why, but that's how I feel. But this match was great. I enjoyed it. Claudio, at near the end of it, he starts getting some open hand slaps in, then looks for the recoil bomb. But the power bomb that he does. But Kingston reverses it, almost catches him out into a roll up. However, Claudio was able to reverse that into his own roll up and to retain. After the match, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta surround him, but Shibata comes out here to make the save. And at one point, I literally thought that Shibata was going to turn on Eddie Kingston. That didn't happen, thankfully. Eddie gets on the microphone and he swears a bunch of times. Tells HR to find him. He says he doesn't care if they go off the air, as MJF gets 30 minutes on television, and all he wants is 5. But he says that he's going to go. He says they're going to go off the air. And he tells the fans he's not fucking going anywhere, and will beat Claudio Castagnoli's ass in the future. So that was Ring of Honor. I enjoy Ring of Honor. Supercard of Honor. Love the show. Match of the night for me was Mark Briscoe, Samoa Joe. Second favorite match of the night. Second favorite match of the night. I'm gonna go with Shibata and Yuta. Then Kingston, Claudio, Tanahashi, Dan Garza. My top two matches of the night were obviously Joe and Briscoe, and Yuta and Shibata. Yeah, that was Ring of Honor. I enjoyed Ring of Honor's pay-per-view tonight. You guys should go out there out of your way to watch that show as well. So that was Ring of Honor. Let's go over to the other show that was happening sort of at the exact same time. It was kind of hard to keep up with both of these shows. We had SmackDown, the final SmackDown before WrestleMania. SmackDown that went on the air 24 hours. We are 24 hours away from night 1 of WrestleMania. And that should be interesting. We're gonna go over both nights. I'm actually gonna probably put my predictions in here as well to even that out here. I'm thinking about it. I'm just gonna stick my predictions in here because I'm not gonna be able to do them tomorrow because I got the Stardom review going up earlier in the day, and then I have the fucking then I gotta do the night 1 of WrestleMania. So SmackDown opened up with the Usos, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. They have a war of words. Jamie says tonight's is the last SmackDown before the biggest tag team match in WWE history on the grandest stage of them all, which is correct. But before Jimmy can continue, Sammy's music hits. He and Kevin Owens appear. Sami says that he's right. Jimmy was right about his former affirmation statement about the tag team title match being the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history, and probably in WWE history too, if you really think about it. Sami then says that they will put an end to their issues once and for all. But before he and Owens could take away their tag titles, they needed to lay out everything on the table here tonight. Owens says he's a little bit conflicted about what he and Sami Zayn are gonna have to do tomorrow to the Usos, because the Usos were the first 2 people to make him feel welcome into the WWE. He says he remembers the 2 of them playing with his son, and says that they looked up to them until they started doing Roman's bidding. He says things got worse when the Usos tried taking his career and his livelihood away from him. And if it weren't for Sami, he wouldn't be standing here today. He says that there's a part of him that doesn't want to do what he has to do, but part of him can't wait to do what he has to do. He says he and Sami will become the new tag team champions. Jimmy butts in and tells Owens he's right. He says that he and Jay showed him love at first, but now there is no love for either him or Sami. He says that Jay and Sami are conflicted about their brotherhoods, then uses himself and Jay as an example. Sami cuts him off and says blood isn't the only thing that makes one family. So, he says loyalty does too, and asks Jay what he knows about loyalty. Sami reminds Jay that he was loyal to him and the rest of the bloodline, and then says that he was one who chose blood over loyalty. Says that Reigns hasn't been loyal to either one of the Usos. Says that Reigns has put the pressure on the bloodline, put the pressure of the bloodline on him and his brother, and he says that he and Owens will defeat the Usos tomorrow night at WrestleMania, and that's going to start the end of the bloodline. Sami then says that Jimmy and Jay can go back to being themselves without the undisputed tag team championships. Owens, Zayn, the Usos stare down for one another before Jay breaks the silence and says, "It'll be the same thing it always is for Owens and Zayn." He says after they lose, Owens will betray Sami, and adds this, and then adds he's sick of everyone trying to say the bloodline will fall. They've been making this statement all clear since the start of the storyline that this bloodline is going to fall, and I'll talk about it in a second. He says that Owens and Zayn will hear the ring announcer say, "And still, your WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay Uso." The Usos hold up their tag team titles, exit the ring, head to the back while the Street Profits stare down the Usos before Braun, Strowman, Ricochet, Alpha Academy, the Viking Raiders follow the Street Profits down to the ring. So, before we get into that 8-man tag match, I do think tomorrow is going to be the end of the bloodline. I think we're going to start to see the cracks of that happening. We're going to see the Usos fall, and then we're going to see Roman Reigns fall. But now I'll get to my predictions when we get to there. But I think that's what's going to happen here. 8-man tag team match. Ricochet gets the win here for his team. Or not saying 8-man tag match. I'm sorry, this is a fatal 4-way match. Montez Ford, Ricochet, Eric, and Chad Gable. Ricochet gets the win here. 450 splash and Chad Gable. Poor Chad Gable for the win. That's about it. That's all I can say about that here. I mean, I think the match. I think this is on Saturday or Sunday. Let me see. Let me see if this match is on Saturday or it's okay. I'm sorry, it's on Sunday. The men's 4-way tag match on Sunday. I think it's going to be really good. Even though I don't give a shit about Braun Strowman and everyone else in this match, I don't really care much for Angelo Dawkins and maybe Otis, but yeah, this match has got Chad Gable in here. It's going to have Montez Ford, Ricochet, who's always great. The Viking Raiders, who can put on great fucking tag matches. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be good. Then we got a video package hyping up the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. I want to make a note of mention here. They've talked about this match quite a lot in the show. To me, it sounds like WWE scaled back on the idea of them main eventing the show because a Fightful Select put up a report yesterday. I want to say, I think it was yesterday. Let me see if I can pull up the report here. Basically saying WWE hasn't told Charlotte or Rhea that they are the main event night one. Probably because they aren't. But I will talk about that in just a bit when we get to WrestleMania predictions. Next up, we get the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I don't care to talk about this match very much because it doesn't mean anything. Bobby Lashley wins by eliminating Bronson Reed. At one point, Karrion Kross gets eliminated by LA Knight. It was either LA Knight eliminated Kross. Somebody eliminated LA Knight. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Kross. Or was it Bronson? I think it was Bronson Reed that eliminated LA Knight, and that LA Knight is over and stuff and all that stuff. I don't really care about this tag match, this battle royal. Who cares? Speaking of things I don't care about, which is sad to say because there's the only person in this match I really like is in it. Uh, Raquel Rodriguez took Shayna Baszler, Natalia, and Shotzi. Fatal 4-way match. I guess the showcase matches for tomorrow. This match is happening tomorrow. The women's showcase match is happening tomorrow. That time is. Raquel Rodriguez wins because of course she does, and I really hope they just do something with Shayna Baszler after WrestleMania. This was a fun segment here. I like what they did here. Backstage, we seen Rey Mysterio and Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar says he wanted to see them, and Rey thanks them for having his back on Raw. Escobar tells Rey that it breaks his heart to see what's going on with his son, and as a father. Then says that he can't wait to see Rey kick Dom's ass. Tells Rey Mysterio that he has his back, and Rey says Rey thanks him for that. He hands out members of Legado a shirt, turns around to reveal the LWO, which I'm trying to figure out. Now, first of all, Fightful put the report here on the scoop here about the LWO shirts, that they're going to have some type of involvement here. So apparently, Fightful did speak to Cruz Del Toro and Santos Escobar on Thursday, who confirmed that they were looking to honor other historic luchadors in the near future, specifically noted Blue Panther and Villanos, and other names, but they didn't mention LWO in their interview. And I'm assuming that LWO is a faction now, but I'm not sure. Like I don't actually know. I mean, I'm okay with it if that's what they're going to do here. If it's going to be a new faction, that I'm okay with. LWO being Legado del Fantasma. So I like that idea. I like it. I'm okay with that idea if that's what the idea is. But Rey Mysterio with Legado del Fantasma, that's something I love that idea. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre versus Imperium in a can they coexist match, because they always have to have one of these. This match was basically trying to see which one would break here. It was nothing. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus win here. Builds towards their match on Sunday against the Intercontinental Champion. Not Imperium. The Imperium's not the Intercontinental Champion. Gunther is. Main event time. We get the segment here. Cody Rhodes comes face to face with Roman Reigns. Rhodes. Cody asks LA what they want to talk about. Cody, by the way, is mega over. I'm just saying right now. Cody is still over even the day before WrestleMania. Cody then says they could talk about how they're at the end of the road because WrestleMania is here. It says that everyone has been on this ride with him as all his cards are laid on the table. He says that he's making sure that schedule in workouts and nutrition in between media appearances to make sure he's ready for his undisputed Universal Championship match. Says that he's the most prepared he's ever been for anything, really. But he feels that he's unprepared speaking to the fans right now. He thanks fans for allowing him to be emotional, then says he feels broke inside. And the only message for that is beating Roman Reigns. Rhodes recounts the last encounter that he has. Then Reigns then says Reigns is like everyone. He says Reigns likes to say that everyone likes to. Let me try that again. He says that Reigns likes to say that everybody thinks they're the guy until they meet the guy. He says that sentiment has struck with him, and then introduces himself as Roman's successor. Roman's music hits. Paul Heyman's out there that says Roman tells Cody it's not the fans' turn, but rather his. He tells Roman to acknowledge him. Before that, he was going to do the whole acknowledge me, LA, but he's like, no, I don't care about any of these people. But that's how SmackDown went off the air. SmackDown Not as good as Ring of Honor. I just really no match I can go back to and say, it was a good match, nothing like that. I enjoyed their opening and closing segments here. Those are two very distinct things because those are the most important things going into. Well, two of the most. It's actually the third. Two of three most important things going into Saturday and Sunday. And now we're gonna go over the predictions for WrestleMania 31, or not 31, WrestleMania 39, night one. We have Austin Theory defending. This is going to be opening the show, by the way. Austin Theory defending the United States Championship against John Cena. I think, personally, I want to see Cena win it just so I can see him do either like the next night or on Raw, have an open challenge and something like that, something else. I think Austin Theory is going to retain the United States Championship. Because again, if Cena said if he beats Theory, if Cena beats Theory, he's done. So, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, who I think are going to have a killer fucking match. Probably one of the matches of the night and the weekend. Personally, Logan Paul's contract expires tomorrow. According to him, it expires tomorrow. Even though I could have sworn he signed a multi-year deal. Yes, last year. Like around this time last year, I think. I'm gonna go with Logan Paul this one. I think Seth Rollins, unfortunately, is going to put over another guy that's not him. And I just think Seth Rollins is probably going to do something later down the road with probably Cody or whatever they plan to do with this new world title or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus taking on Damage Control. I'm going to go with Damage Control on this one. I know this is kind of like a bad idea or a bad pick, but I feel like Trish Stratus is going to turn on Trish and Lita and Becky here. Because the rumor going around right now that the program for Survivor Series for SummerSlam is Becky Lynch versus a heel Trish Stratus. And the only way you can pull that off is by having Trish turn on Becky and Lita. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Damage Control, after Trish turned on Becky and Lita, they're going to have Io Sky, who, by the way, I want to point this out here, who had a phenomenal match with Becky Lynch on Raw. I think Becky's going to also give back to not back to Becky. She can't give back to herself. Becky gives back to Io and Io's the one who gets to pin her in the match tomorrow on WrestleMania Saturday. Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win here. I know this is not a popular idea, but this is one of the more interesting storylines that going into WrestleMania that I'm very looking forward to. And I think Rey Mysterio is going to put over his son at WrestleMania. I think that's what you should do, and there's really no other way to put it on here. I mean, what else you going to do here? What else? But that's what I think is going to happen there. Women's Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. I don't give a shit about this. Ronda and Shayna are going to win. There's really no stakes here in this thing. This is just let's get everybody on the card and whatnot. But Shayna and Ronda are going to win here. Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, SmackDown Women's Championship. My heart says Rhea Ripley should win here, and I know people are going to say, well, Triple H, Vince McMahon's back in creative. Well, here's how you know Vince is going to be back in creative. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Cody Rhodes all lose their matches. That's how you are going to know. And it's also how you know if John Cena goes over on tomorrow. That's how you know Vince is in charge. But I'm going to stick with my gut and my heart here with Rhea Ripley going over, becoming the SmackDown Women's Champion. And the match that I am pretty confident is main eventing night one. The Usos defending the undisputed tag team champions against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is where you pull the trigger on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wins the undisputed tag team championships in the main event. Close night one with part one of the downfall of the opposite of the Usos, the Bloodline. Goes into night two. We'll go over to night two here. We're gonna start with the other four-way tag team match. I'm gonna go with the Street Profits in this one here, just because they are not going to push the Viking Raiders. They are not going to push Alpha Academy, and Braun Strowman and Ricochet kind of did whatever they did tonight, which is why I don't think it's going to happen here. The Intercontinental Championship match: Gunther defends against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I think Gunther is going to be poised for bigger things after WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with Sheamus winning the Intercontinental Championship. And that has Drew and Sheamus feuding for the IC title coming out of WrestleMania, which gives Gunther a way into the King of the Ring, which I think he should win the King of the Ring, if it's not going to be Jay White. That's just what I have in mind here. If Jay White's coming in, that is. Edge. Actually, let's get this one here. Brock Lesnar is going to win with the F5, 5 minutes. Boom, I'm done talking about that. Okay. Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor. Hell in a Cell. Probably going to go 30, 40 minutes. Not going to give this a lot of time. I think Finn Balor should absolutely get the victory here in this storyline. Please. I don't give a shit who actually wins this match. I want the storyline to be over with after WrestleMania. So I think Finn Balor is going to get the win here. You've got to do something to take that terrible taste of Extreme Fools out of our mouths with Edge of Finn Balor. With Finn Balor feud 2 years ago, we were told the Demon's kind of dead now because he fell off the fucking top rope. So Bianca Belair defends the Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. So I mentioned this during SmackDown review, or it was part of either the SmackDown review or the Ring of Honor review, one of those two, where the Great Muta was doing his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. They were talking. Ric Flair was out there, and he put over Asuka multiple times, and the crowd popped huge for Asuka. And and they even mentioned Asuka. They had Asuka in the video package for Muta and said that the reason she got into professional wrestling is because of Great Muta. The Muta did the mist thing, and she marked out. You see, and they purposely put the camera on her to show her having her adorable mark out moment. And I think, to me, to a lot of other people, this is the last chance you're gonna have. This is the last chance for us to get Asuka have redemption. Asuka has not won a match at WrestleMania ever. She should have won against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 34, along with Shinsuke Nakamura. He should have beaten AJ Styles. Very simple fucking booking. Neither one happened. Asuka really, I mean, sure she's won the Raw Women's Championship twice, right? She's a 2-time Raw Women's Champion, sure. She is a former SmackDown Women's Champion, sure. She is the longest reigning she is the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. Even though I'll talk, I won't lump that into what my point I'm making here. She along with Kairi Sane is the longest reigning tag team champions, and she had a weird run with the tag titles with Alexa Bliss and what the hell was it? What the hell's her name? Charlotte Flair. But did any of those title runs mean anything? I mean, sure, they did something with Asuka and Kairi as the champions, but they don't mean anything because Vince McMahon didn't make it mean anything. Triple H has a chance to bring back, book her like he did in NXT. It's not that hard. Just book her like you did in NXT. And I've seen this nerd from New York say, "Oh, she's dancing and all that stuff." Like she was doing this shit in Japan long before WWE. This is a kind of thing through and through. She was spitting out blood and fucking dancing around but it was mind games. That was the point. That was the whole point of Asuka's character. And in the ring, she wrestled the exact same style she's doing now. It's like, what? I guarantee the people claiming that they want to see the Asuka from NXT don't really know that the Asuka you're seeing now is the Kana that we've seen in oh god, where did she compete? I think it was Tokyo Joshi Pro. I'm not sure. I don't know how far back that company goes, but I think Asuka should win here. I think Asuka needs the win more than Bianca Belair does. Bianca does not need another WrestleMania victory over somebody like Asuka. I'm sorry. Like, it was cool for doing it with Sasha. Fine. I guess it made sense for Bianca Belair to beat Becky Lynch. But here you've got to pull the trigger on Asuka. You've got to book her like a fucking killer. And just do it. Just do it. That's all you have to do. Triple H, I'm begging you, Sunday night, do the right thing. The match is going to be great. Asuka always puts on great matches. Okay, I scale that back. She doesn't always put on great matches. Because sometimes they put her in the ring with people who do not know what the fuck they're doing. But I'm going with Asuka here to become the Raw Women's Champion. And we got the main event to cap off both nights of WrestleMania. Hopefully, the end of the bloodline, the undisputed Universal Championship on the line. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has to win the title. I am over this Roman Reigns run as champion. To me, and I agree with a lot of people, other people, I don't know who actually been saying it, but to me, the more interesting story is Roman without the title. Because let's say if Roman retains on Sunday, who's left? I'm sorry, but Jey Uso's is not the guy to be. Jey Uso's not world championship material. I'm sorry. I love Jey Uso. I love the Usos to death. But neither one of them are world championship material. Okay? Yeah, and I know you're probably going to say, well, Jinder Mahal was. The person who put Jinder Mahal as the champion was fucking Vince McMahon. Okay? He's not booking the show anymore. Triple H is. And if you really want to be frank here, just because Triple H did a great job with NXT doesn't mean he's not immune to bad booking. Okay, Cody Rhodes needs to win the championship tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Sunday night. There's apparently a title's already been made according to WrestleVotes. The title's already been made and it's already been approved. They would not have made a new championship that was approved by Triple H if Cody was losing. I mean, come on now. Use your breath. They do this all the time. When somebody wins the championship and a new title has been introduced or made, they introduce a new championship. They did with Cena. Cena won the championship from JBL at WrestleMania 21. And they showed us that god-awful piece of shit garbage spinner belt, which I'm glad got burned into oblivion when Rock beat the fucking, what the hell is his name, CM Punk, for no fucking reason. We got a new championship design, right? New championship design, kind of basically similar to the one we have now. When the titles were unified between the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship, and Cena won those titles, right? They weren't really unified until SummerSlam when Brock squashed Cena in that match, and we got introduced to the design that we have now, which is the current design of the WWE Championship. When Austin won the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 14, there was a new design, which we can now call the Attitude Era belt. The Winged Eagle belt went away for the Attitude Era belt. This happens all the time. New championships are created for people who are winning the title. And I think that I am hoping the same thing is happening here. Cody Rhodes is my pick to win the Universal WWE Championship, whichever one he wants to become the champion with. And then on the next night on Raw, he's going to drop the Universal title. And we're going to get rid of that garbage title. Sure, Roman's done something with it, but like, so what? The title never actually meant anything to begin with. It fucking went to Finn Balor. Finn Balor got injured. Then it went to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had an okay run with it. And then they put on Goldberg. And then it went to Brock Lesnar, was never defended. And then when Seth Rollins won it, I think when Seth Rollins won it, I fucking don't know. I don't know if he did or not. No, it went straight to fucking Roman Reigns. Roman went away for leukemia. Rollins wins the title. Was going to have a good run with it, and then they put him in there with Bray Wyatt, and that killed his momentum completely. Bray Wyatt won the title. Was doing nothing really with the championship. I mean, he had 2 great matches with Daniel Bryan, but it's Daniel Bryan. I mean, you would feel dumb to have a terrible match with Bryan Danielson. And then Goldberg beat him, and then that was the end of the title. I didn't give you shit about the Universal title after that. So, but yeah, that's my preview and predictions for WrestleMania. My review of Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, and SmackDown tonight, the Go Home Show. I will see you guys back here tomorrow for hopefully the Stardom review. I'm gonna review both rounds for the Cinderella Cup, the Cinderella tournament. I have a lot to say about round 2, which I'm like, that was just weird ass booking from Rousey Ogawa. So that was weird shit. And also we got the WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 39, night 1. That's a mouthful. Review as well. So yeah, that is your review for both of these shows. And guys, like I said, I will see you guys tomorrow for Stardom and later on for WrestleMania. Until then, we're out.